Now, your style of wrestling, is that directly influenced by what you watched as a kid? The style of wrestling or one of your favorite wrestlers?
Yes, I'd say so a little bit from like when I was a kid, but mostly from like as my adolescence and adult years. It derives from that as much because to me at least, wrestling now is or the styles they do now is pretty different from what they did when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It seems a lot more like intricate, like most of them obviously like high spots, big setups, stuff like that.
Okay.
Back then it seemed a lot simpler.
Okay.
It seemed to be a lot more fluid.
Yeah. Okay. So now let's fast forward to what I seen on the internet today, and you and that class together. It was 1 year ago that you guys graduated from the House of Truth. So do me a favor, tell me, how did you find the House of Truth? And were you seeking out wrestling schools? Did it fall into your lap? Did you search on the internet? Did you call? I gotta imagine that a call to Truth Martini is pretty outrageous. But exactly how did you get down on this?
Actually, it's a pretty like spread out story. So I believe the first time I ever like thought like there were any schools. First of all, like when I was in college, I didn't even know like wrestling school was a thing. I just kind of thought people were wrestlers. I was really ignorant to like the whole scene.
Okay.
So like me and some buddies were watching WrestleMania one year, and I was just like looking at my phone, and I was just like, I wonder like how people become wrestlers. So I looked that up, and I was like, oh, there's wrestling schools. I wonder if any are in Michigan, and I came across House of Truth. Now, at the time, I didn't think anything of it. I was like, this was just a piece of information stuck in the back of my head. Fast forward, I want to say 2 years later, I like wasn't liking my career situation. I was kind of like lost in the sauce, if you will. Didn't know what to do with myself. So I looked at wrestling as like one of the things that like has been consistently in my life. I was just like, oh, let me give that a try. Maybe I'll like that. Maybe that will benefit me,
right,
in a way.
Okay.
So I saved up some money. Before I actually paid for the school, I went up there to the House of Truth and actually talked to Truth Martini,
okay,
which like I had known of Truth Martini, but I hadn't seen much of it. But I did my due diligence. I was like, oh, this guy's pretty cool. And I got up there, and I didn't expect much, but like obviously when you see like famous people on the screen, you expect them to be like a little like that.
right.
So I was pretty surprised about how like normal like he was like treating me. Like he was treating me like a human being.
Right.
So and then he like explained me like what the course was, what wrestling is, how things work, and I was just like, cool, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try this. And I want to say 2 months later, I started class and never looked back since.
Yeah, absolutely. And what a class you're in, because a lot of the guys that you graduated with in that class are nominated. There were 5 nominees this year, and you are one of those nominees. And speaking of nominees, you are in a match tomorrow, or is it tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
Is it tomorrow?
It is. It
No,
is
Saturday.
actually.
Saturday. On Saturday, I get lost, man. I work too damn much. I forget what day it is. But anyways, on Saturday, you're up in Kalkaska. I love saying Kalkaska. There's 2 towns in the state of Michigan I really like saying. 1, Kalkaska, and 2, Coloma. All right, I love saying them. But anyways, you're in Kalkaska, and you and Brutus Atwell, the Scourge of the Swamp, are throwing down up there. That's going to be an interesting match. I'm because you guys are two completely different styles, and
I would have to agree.
Yeah, definitely. What are you looking forward to the match, or how's that going?
Oh, of course, I look forward to all my fights.
Yeah.
Especially with a clash of styles as me and Brutus are.
Right.
He's a lot more of a pick him up and slam him down, and I'm more of a wear you down, outrun you type of style,
right?
Or run circles around you.
Yeah.
Really,
is that going to be your plan to stay away and not let him slam you?
Of course. Have you seen people be slammed by him?
Yeah. Yes, I have.
It sucks. It sucks. I've been slammed by him before.
Oh, so it did. So you've experienced the slam, every man, and we're not a fan of said slam.
I took him slamming other people. Oh, I enjoy it. I laugh at them.
You do the training, for those of you out there that don't know. Yes, you have to go to a wrestling school in order to be approved. They sign on the dotted line or give the approval that you are now able to go out and take bookings. And, that happened for you, and you were out there and you full steam ahead. Your whole crew just came out and whooping some ass and taking some names there. What was that like for you, breaking in I know that you're still doing that and still breaking in and still making the bones and doing what you got to do, but knowing that obviously the promoters see it because they are the ones that nominated people for these categories this year. This wasn't us. This wasn't the fans. This was the promoters. So, knowing that people are seeing the hard work and is it, how does that make you feel? Is it like a goal accomplished? I know you're not complacent, obviously, but how do you feel?
Personally, it feels really good, especially like coming in for my first year. You still got to think about, like, as wrestlers, we are all in competition with each other, first and foremost. And with especially like being a new guy, I wouldn't be perceived like so like open heartedly to, like, especially promoters, the wrestlers, and by the fans themselves. So to me, it's pretty surprising, and it feels good.
Yeah. Well, you get quite the reaction from the fans. I mean, being only a 1 year in, I was at a couple events, and one in Standish, Michigan, and being new to the business, it was safe to say not a lot of people knew who you were at that time. And yet you garnished or influenced that crowd enough to where they were chanting your name. So, in retro or in theory, you did your job, right? You got a reaction from the crowd. Is that something like, obviously going into Standish, Michigan, where nobody knows who you are, and then you get a reaction from the crowd, like, what goes through your head? Like, are you excited? Are you trying to keep your cool?
Well, yes, I am excited, but a lot of the time is you kind of get lost in, like, the cheering and the reaction from the crowd. It's like, yeah, that's a piece of the job,
right?
But, like, you also have to pay attention to, like, the other piece of the job, which is, like, what you're doing inside the ring and or, like, around the ring. Yeah. So it's definitely a lot to take in.
Okay. All right. So now I'm going to give you some questions that I haven't really gave people yet. All right. So out of everybody in the state of Michigan currently right now, if they said, we're burning down the establishment, the entire state's burning to the ground, but all we have is we have a wrestling ring, and you got to wrestle. Who's the person? Who's the one that you're going to fight before it's the end? Ha!
That is a tough question,
isn't it?
In the state of Michigan, I've wrestled so many so far. I want to choose someone that I haven't wrestled yet.
Well, I like that idea.
I would have to say, can I pick two?
Sure.
So the two that I would pick probably in a singles match are either Tommy Vendetta or Dread King Logan.
Oh, nice. Those are two that I did not see. Wow.
But it's for a special reason though.
Okay.
Like when you to the arena, it's like, yeah, you bring your own kind of like set of energy.
Mm-hmm.
But when Dread King and Tommy Vendetta in there with their opponents, they bring a sudden special like energy out of the other opponent, typically that you haven't seen the other opponent do. So like I would want to face them so they can bring out something in me that I didn't think I had.
That is a great answer, but I didn't see it. I would have thought like somebody that matched your style, but that's great. That is awesome because you're not going to get any better just facing the same people that do the same thing. So that's
exactly.
That's good. But all right, okay. So let's take that one more further. Take that one more further. So let's feds everything, the whole industry, the whole entire world. Who's the one that you're going, man, I wish that someday I get to face this person in the ring?
The one?
The one. I know, because everybody makes these like 700 people lists, but there's got to be that person in the back, like maybe they influenced you in some way and you want to have that match with them, or, maybe it's because you grew up watching them or whatever it is. There's got to be that person that you're going, man, one day I hope that I make it to that level so that I can wrestle that person.
I'd have to say Jay Lethal.
Okay, another one I did not expect. This is why I like doing these. Awesome. So
Because,
Jay Lethal, why?
Jay Lethal, Jay Lethal is very sentimental because when I was in my younger days, I watched a lot of TNA.
Oh, all right.
And I would watch TNA, he'd be probably like, if not the only one, but like one of like the people I look forward to because he's entertaining.
Absolutely.
He's a great wrestler. And he kind of just like he gives you everything you want plus something you didn't think you were going to get.
Yeah, I like it. Those are great. Those are all wonderful answers, man. I like it. You are obviously booked pretty much all over right now. And I mean, it's not like you're everywhere. And I'm not, some guys are, some guys aren't. But are you particular on your bookings? Do you, or, are there only certain places that you're working?
Not exactly. So like, I'm a person that likes to keep myself fresh and try to go places where like I feel like I have like something to prove, as well as continue to go to places where I'm trying to like move up the ranks as well. So not necessarily like, but
right.
Definitely look out for the shows that like some of the best are on, because like if I want to be the best, I got to go to where the best are.
Makes perfect damn sense. Makes sense for sure.
So like not picky, but like I get in where I fit in. Definitely.
Okay. All right. Now, speaking of bookings, primarily right now we're seeing you in the state of Michigan. What is the timeline, or are you expecting, or are you looking to eventually, or in the horizon? I'm giving you all, the outs, but when can we expect that Solo is going to go on the road and get into, say, Ohio and Indiana and Illinois and maybe into Kentucky and down that way? I know you need a license down there, but still, when is there a goal or plan to make that happen, to go on the road and go to other states?
I've already started.
Well, shit. Well, inform me, because I'm ignorant, apparently.
So outside of Michigan, I've been to, I want to say, 2 states.
Okay.
I've been to Indiana and Ohio so far.
Nice.
In Ohio, I've only wrestled at War Wrestling twice. And in Indiana, I wrestled for PWK once. And RCW.
Okay.
And who's the other one? Oh, and I want to get to Emerge soon as well.
Okay. Nice. Now, I know with War Wrestling is very, very popular down in Ohio. It's one of the older promotions. It's been around for quite some time. The promoter's very active on social media. I know a few of the guys here in Michigan that work for War Wrestling, and then I know a couple of guys out of Ohio who also work for War Wrestling, and one of those guys is Cody Hawk. Cody Hawk is one of the guys that runs Future Great Wrestling, or is affiliated with Future Great Wrestling down there. Real great guy to get to know. Real good guy to get to know. I mean, if you get to pick that guy's brain, you definitely should.
So I've actually met him. I hadn't had the opportunity to have a full conversation with him, but I met him, told him my name, we exchanged our names, shook some hands.
Yeah.
And
he's a good guy.
So hopefully, once I make my trip back down to War Wrestling, I'll see him again.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely ask him, for critique, because he's the guy. He is the guy. That's my opinion. And
aside from you, I've heard good things about him.
Well, the Cauliflower Alley Club seems to agree too. So that's why they gave him that fucking award, man. But those of you that are watching out there, if you don't know, I'm big on promoting the guys, the girls, the events, and everything that happens right here in the state of Michigan, because, I like indie wrestling. And I'm not going to say I say I love indie wrestling. I love the wrestling scene here in the state of Michigan. So, if you love it too, and you love Solo, and you like what you heard here or anything like that, make sure that you scroll down in the description, and down there you will find his Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, as well as his YouTube channel. Go over to his YouTube channel, subscribe to his channel, follow him, and like him on all of his social media there. That way you can stay up to date on whatever events he's going to be at, or anything that may be going on. You just don't know, because the world of professional wrestling is one of those, it's always changing, always changing, always evolving, whether it goes back 2 steps or forward 6, it's always moving, right? So you never know what could happen today or tomorrow. The next thing you know, Solo's on AEW Dark, and you just never know it. You know what I'm saying? Because
a boy can dream.
Right. Well, then I'm saying it could happen. I mean, there's a lot of guys we know, and girls. I know a few girls that have been on AEW Dark. That
I know a couple as well
that are getting those shots, man. And you very well could be one of those people one of these days, and you never know when it could happen. Could be tomorrow. True. Could be in a week. Could be in months. You just never actually know. Some people have that big goal, right? They want to go to WWE. Some people are like, you know what? I'm comfortable working in Michigan, and obviously that's not comfortable for you. We've already discussed it, right? You're already working outside of the state. Is the goal to get to the Fed, WWE, or is it, let's worry about now, and then eventually we can get to there?
No, I do want to be able to get to that level.
Mm-hmm.
But staying at that level, it would take getting to it first, because like I'm sure some people get up there and don't like it. Some people may prefer being where I am per se. But I definitely do want to get to that level.
Right. So I think your mom's in here. She said, Desiree Underwood, she said, that's my son doing big things.
That is my mother.
Yeah. So,
hi, Mom.
Hey, always listen to Mom, everybody. Always listen to your mother. I had to learn that the hard way. I did not listen to my mom, and I got in a lot of trouble, just so you know. Tony Garrick.
Kid as I am.
Tony Garrick's hello to you, sir. Brutus Atwell was in here, and he says, I don't know if he's still in here, but he does say, he said, take a good look at this little dork because he won't be around after Saturday. Slam every man.
Wow.
So he must be getting
the disrespect.
Right. Well, the service must be pretty good in the swamp tonight. So
was he having what did LJ get him a phone with an antenna on it?
Yeah. So that's how we did. I don't know if you caught it, but he was on the show. It was about a month ago, probably.
I did catch it, actually.
And he was in the swamp on his phone, and he said LJ bought him so that they could communicate for Wrestling with a Vet. That's what it was all about there. Which, I
really hope Wrestling with a Vet comes back, because I was really excited to be a part of that.
Well, shit, it is XICW. It is Wrestling with a Vet, right? Proving ground. The careers that the talent that has participated in that tournament, that talent, a lot of that talent is now in other places doing other big things, right? Not saying that XICW isn't big, but there's guys like, I don't know, Trey Miguel, X Division champion, current in Impact Wrestling. That guy, there's others too on top of that. But what does something like Wrestling with a Vet mean to you?
It means quite a bit, actually, considering before I got trained, I didn't actually really know indie wrestling was a thing.
Okay. Isn't that funny how a lot of people don't know?
Yeah, and I was just kind of introduced in a very short amount of time, introduced to a whole new world of wrestling I didn't know of and plan to be a part of. So from what I've told and what I've watched, XICW has a pretty rich and long history. Absolutely. And to be a part of that is an honor in itself. But also, Wrestling with a Vet is a shoot tournament, and at heart, I'm a competitor. And if there's something to be won, I want to win it.
Right. So there was a time that this was held at a bar. It was at the Hot Rock, and it's where it started. But the Hot Rock no longer exists. So that's why the tournament has been paused. Right? Timeout. Okay. So where I'm going with this is last season it was the beginning of last season or the season before. I can't remember, but we were outside the Hot Rock. I was talking to DBA, right? And it was really had to have been not last season, but the season before. But I was talking to him, and it was one of the first times I really got to actually have a conversation with him rather than just through text message or whatever, And he's telling me, he goes, a lot of these guys, when they get involved, they think that it's BS. And it's not. It's for real. They don't know who's going to win. And it all boils down to fan reactions, right? How much the fans react and what those judges that are scoring up at the score table or whatever you want to call it.
And I will say those judges know, they know their shit. They've actually helped my craft in the little time that I've been doing it for. So I have respect for them as well.
Oh yeah, it's and we've had DBA on, or DBA's been on here a couple times. He's been on for, single interviews. He's been on for Danny's 5 Minutes of Fame and stuff like that. And I don't know how you cut off a man like DBA without getting stabbed, but you can ask Dan about it. Dan did it. But I absolutely love XICW, and this is an opinion, and everybody has different ones, and I'm okay with you disagreeing with me, but in my opinion, XICW is the best promotion in the state of Michigan, and not only is it the best, but it's one of the most fan interactive, and everybody that goes to an XICW show or event, if it's at the Hot Rock or it's in somebody's fucking backyard or it doesn't fucking matter where it's at. You are family. You belong there. And if you don't belong there, you will know it. But you know what I mean? You belong there. You belong there. And everybody that's there belongs there. And that's why they always yell out family, because man, when we see each other, we might not know our names as fans or whatever, but we know, hey, you're that dude I see at XI all the time. How are you doing? I literally have friends on Facebook that I don't even really know them other than the fact that they go to XICW. Really, that's straight up.
Yeah, that's a bond that like a promotion brings, especially when you've been doing it for that long.
Yeah, 21 fucking years, dude. The longest running promotion in the state of Michigan. Holy shit. You know? And then a man that does a flaming elbow still has an elbow. That's also amazing.
Bro, how does his elbow still have skin on it?
Well,
like, no way that little skinny pad is protecting the burn.
I don't know. Maybe he treats it with aloe or something before, but
I've seen him set it on fire like 3 times.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, he's backed off quite a bit nowadays, but for sure. So, and there's another, let's see. Coach Click said, kick ass, bring home the win every time. That is from Elaine Dago. I think that's.
Oh, I know who that is.
All right. I hope I said that last name right.
You did, actually.
Oh, my gosh. I am horrible with names, man. And that's funny that because now I've ventured into the ring announcer realm of things now, and I've only done it once. And,
really? Where at?
F5. It was. Okay. I did it at their first one, F5 Underground. I was unable to make the double header they did with RPW, so I believe.
Woo, that was a late night show. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, man. I don't. That's late for me, and I had to work the next day. So I was like, I'm sorry, guys. But it is what it is. So
I rode with somebody. I had to go.
So let me ask you this. We talked a little bit about, the Fed and moving on and maybe moving up eventually down the road. But in anything that you do in life, we all know this, that you have to have goals, short-term, long-term, whatever it may be, but you have to have goals. You have to have things to achieve, because if you don't, then you won't ever be satisfied or fulfilled. And you seem to me like a driven type person just by the way that you talk. Do you have the short-term goals, and or a long-term goal, and could you fill us? I know some of them might be a little bit intimate to you, but is there one that you could share with us and say, hey, look, this is one of my goals? And, you never know. You tell us that goal. Maybe there might be some motherfuckers out here that'll help you achieve that shit.
So fun fact is, one of my favorite things about wrestling is I love gimmick matches.
Okay.
Like I love like the ladder matches and whatnot. So like I have like quite an extensive like gimmick match bucket list.
Okay.
So like I definitely want to be in a ladder match.
Okay.
Steel cage match.
Oh.
Last man standing match.
Oh Lord.
False count anywhere match. What else is there? I definitely, like, if I ever have the opportunity at a Fed company, I want to be in a Hell in a Cell match.
Well, there you go.
Like I know like there's a lot of pressure and a lot like to live up to with these type of matches, but like these are the type of matches that create like some of the best moments for me as a child and as an adult.
Yeah, they're great talking points too. I mean, I couldn't tell you how long we talked about DTA and at that time Kira Clan, which then turned into War Inc., but in their War Games match that they had at XICW. And it was the only, to my understanding, it was the second War Games in the history of XICW. And then that actually involved a cage. And then there was also a War Games at Metro Pro Wrestling between DTA and Armageddon.
I was there for that as well.
Yeah. So, gimmick match, huh? Man, somebody, we need to make something happen here.
Something.
Let's get something going. I think it'd be a great time. It would be excellent. You know what I enjoy? Let me tell you one of mine that I like. You might not like it because this, I don't know. But fans bring the weapons. Now,
so I love gimmick matches.
Yeah.
But it's some crazy fans out here.
Oh, for sure.
I saw Styrofoam with the blade of the knife sticking out of him once.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
Who thinks of this shit? like who makes this?
It's crazy people. That's who. But
it's psychopathic almost.
Right.
I guess you got to be a little crazy to be into professional wrestling.
Right. Oh, and that's an absolute fact, my friend.
Just a little loony.
I go back to Blue Water Championship Wrestling. It was up here in Port Huron, and Levi Blue faced Billy Ray Daniels in a fans bring the weapons match. And I was part of the ring crew for this. And Josh was sitting outside. And I know you're familiar with anime, but are you familiar with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Of course.
Okay, so Casey, right? And he's got the bag, the golf bag full of weapons. So
with the hockey sticks and all.
Yeah,
and
Josh has got it sitting outside, first in line, waiting to get in with a golf bag full hockey sticks, baseball bats, he had everything, dude. Everything. So that's why because I like to see what Josh comes up with to bring in his golf bag, because that's probably about the only thing he gets back at the end of the night is the golf bag. So
honestly, as long as there's no knives.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'd definitely be interested in the fans bring the weapons.
Right. Well, so deathmatch wrestling's been a big thing recently. And hey, listen, I don't hate on it. I'm not like, fuck that shit. Whatever. I've watched some. I enjoy some of it, but not all of it. And that's the greatest thing about pro wrestling, right? There's a flavor for everybody. Whatever you like, there's a flavor out there, right?
So you'll find something.
Right. But I get so mad when people, I guess I used to be one of these people too back in the day, but you're upset as a fan, not so much as wrestlers, but the fans and how they talk schmack about the things that they're watching on TV. And I'm just like, then don't watch.
True. Yeah, just don't watch it.
Don't watch it. If it upsets you that much, do you complain about it that much, then why are you watching it? Just don't watch, man. Watch what you like. That's why I like watching indie wrestling. I enjoy the fan interaction of indie wrestling. For
me in particular, the death matches aren't my cup of tea. They're pretty cringe to me. Like I find myself looking away. But I respect the art form that it is. It's I myself may not understand it.
Right.
But the people in there, they're doing their thing in there.
Yeah.
There's an audience out here that enjoys it, and the workers in there, they know it. I trust they know what they're doing.
Right. Oh, absolutely. So, you gotta respect what they're doing.
So I don't hate on it.
Right. No, yeah. And like anything, whatever the corporations or what institutions, federations, alliances, whatever they're doing, let them do it, man. If somebody wants to watch and pay the money, let them pay and watch the money. No big deal. But I can tell you where you can pay and watch the money, or not watch the money. Well, yeah, you can. We can just call you Watch the Money. That's Solo. All right, so we got Solo out on Saturday at Mr. Chainsaw Pro Wrestling, facing off against another Rookie of the Year nominee, Brutus Atwell, and I believe the only tickets that are available now are the GA $15 tickets, because that's how Mr. Chainsaw Pro Wrestling rolls. They usually sell out way early. So
yes, they do.
You know, careful with that. You know, you might want to contact one Mikey Zero or get a hold of their whatever their, because I know they got a website. I didn't list that down below. I usually
do. They actually made a post earlier. So if anyone wants to go to the website, I have the link in one of my posts.
There you go. So you got to go to their website. You can buy them online, because I guarantee if you live where I live and you drive to Kalkaska and you get there and there's no seats, you are going to be one pissed off mofo. Right?
Standing room only, baby.
Yeah, that's standing. You're going to be standing outside watching through the window. If you can get yourself a ticket, man. But, you know, hey, bro, I want to say thank you for so much. I had a really good time. I really did get to know you. I feel like there was some answers in there that I didn't expect that you were going to give me. So now I know a little bit more about Solo, and you guys out there do as well. And if you want to stay up to date on everything that is Solo and his career in professional wrestling, and when he ventures out, and you know, and when Wrestling with the Vet resumes, which I'm hearing rumors. So I'm hearing rumors. So I'm not allowed to say. So y'all might just want to stay tuned, right? Get on there and check out XICW's social media as well. But in the description right now, if you scroll down there, you will find the link to Solo's YouTube and Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Make sure that you follow him on all of those. Also down there, you will find Rasslin Rage, MIW, and the group that we have on Facebook, where we post all stuff that has to do with Michigan indie wrestling. Again, Michigan indie wrestling, not Florida wrestling or Ohio. It's Michigan wrestling. Just that's it. Okay, so we deny anything else unless it has something to do with Michigan. Also down there, this interview that we're doing right now, you know that eventually it will be available in in a podcast form. Like, we're on YouTube, we're live, but then I take all this, I convert it into an audio format, and then I upload it to what's called our Podbean. All right. Podbean is a platform where not everybody, but a lot of podcasts hosts their audio content, and then that platform distributes it all over the world, and it goes out to all these other podcast platforms. So, Solo, you're also going to be out in the World Wide Web, in the interwebs, in audio format.
For eternity.
For eternity. That is right. And again, man, thank you so much for joining me, man. I had a good time.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and now we're going to have you on again at some point, and we'll talk more about developments and things that have happened. And I really look forward to watching your career develop, my friend, because, again, a year in, and you're making noise, so you're doing something right, and I look forward to the future.
Me as well. I'm excited for what my next steps are.
Very good. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you back here on Sunday for Rasslin Rage right here on r2youtube.com. That's the letter R, the number 2, youtube.com. See ya. Hey, there it is.
Rasslin Rage. Do it now. This is Rasslin Rage. Scream it out loud. This is Rasslin Rage. Cody Fleming is the man who leads the brigade. Let's go down. This is Rasslin Rage. Do it now. This is Rasslin Rage. Scream it out loud. This is Rasslin Rage.